I know that you're here for other reasons, but it just makes us feel important to see everybody out there. So thank you for being here. We'll first have an invocation by Councilmember Smith, and then our pledge by Councilmember Snelson.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful to be gathered here tonight. We're grateful for this opportunity that we have to come and discuss city business. And Father, we ask for a blessing upon the world, our nation, our state, and our city, and in our homes. We ask for peace. We ask for a blessing upon those who are serving our country. We love thee, Father, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Would ask all to arise and repeat the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I need a motion for approval of the meeting's agenda as printed.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting's agenda as written.
Okay,
I will second that.
have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, very good. We'd like to welcome any scouts or any students who are here, and if there are any here for that reason, we also invite you to come sit up on the stand with us. You're welcome to do that. We love to do that. There's candy up here, so we usually bribe them to get them up here. But if you are here for that reason, we certainly welcome you to come on up. So there's a young man right there, man.
Yeah,
See, he's no dummy.
I like it.
That's right.
He ran it.
Sugar them up, and then we send them home, just like a grandparent. If anybody would like to address the city council for public comment, there are some forms that are out in the foyer. If you just fill those out and get those over to Kim, and be able to get your opportunity to be able to address the city council. We don't take any official action, but we've had lots of citizens make comments and raise some concerns, and we're very grateful for it. So we just encourage you to do that. Okay, well, the first is to do the swearing in of the 2025 Youth City Council. Karen, if you'd like to come up and introduce and kind of set it up. I've been given the papers so I can have a chance to swear them in. So.
Good evening, Council. I'm Karen Ellingson, and I am the leader of the Youth City Council for this year. So really excited to be here, and we have in attendance most of our Youth City Council. We have 20 plus Youth City Council this year, so a good sized group, and you'll be seeing them at Art City Days and a lot of other city events. They'll be doing a lot of volunteering. They'll have their shirts on so you can find them and say hi and introduce yourself. So would you like me to?
Yep, have them come on up, so that's
everybody
great.
who's a member of the Youth City Council, come on up, and we'll just have you line up in front here.
This is fantastic.
Come right around. Shift around.
Everybody's probably all on board.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready? Yep, don't worry about blocking him. That'd be great. That's perfect. That's great. You're
Look at
doing
me.
great. Okay, have you ever been sworn in before?
Sworn in.
Okay, so why do you use your right hand when you do that? Okay, it's your dominant hand. So when you shake someone's hand, it's a sign of friendship, and you do it with which hand? Okay, you're making a covenant of friendship. So when you raise your right hand to the square, that's your covenant hand. And so you're raising that right hand and making a covenant, and that's what the swearing in is all about. We're going to do a police officer the very same way. So this is what we're going to do. So are you ready? Okay. Okay, audience, you get to witness them doing it correctly. So, okay, repeat after me. So raise your right hand to the square and say, and I'm going to ask you when I say I, and then you say your name. So first of all, I solemnly swear that I will support, obey and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Utah, and the laws and ordinances of Springville City, and that I will, to the very best of my ability, faithfully discharge my duties as a member of the Springville Youth Council. Awesome. Well done. Okay.
Good job.
Now, for those of you that are on the Springville Youth Council, that is a wonderful group. And we want to have you involved in the city because it gives you an opportunity to kind of see how it all works. And Karen has been very involved in the city. She's just done hundreds and hundreds of hours of service with the city. And she understands the city, and she's a great leader. And so we look toward her, and she's going to give you all the information that you need. But we want you to be involved in the city. People say all the time, this is my suggestion, you need to do this, you need to do that. But my encouragement is, if you don't like something, get involved. Get involved in committees, get involved in activities. You may say, well, I could never be on the city council. Well, that's okay. Be on a committee, be on a council. That's the process of our government. It's us. It's us. It's not this group against you, it's us. We're you. And sometimes we get a little bit kind of mystified by what goes on nationally. Well, that's national. We're not the same. This is us, our little town of Springville. And so as a youth city council, you get to see how all this stuff works. And they'll give you a chance. Karen will take you around and show you how all these things work. And it's to help you know that you can get involved in so many different ways. And that's a very important part of it. So anyway, I'll get off my bandwagon, but I'm excited to have you do it. And Karen, thank you very much. So, okay. Chief, speaking of swearing in.
Mayor and Council, this is an exciting day for the Springville Police Department. One of our newest recruits and trainee has graduated from the Academy, Jaron Smith, and he's here tonight to be sworn in. He's joining a noble profession. We love being police officers, and I've been doing this for 27 years, and if I had to decide all over again, I would do it all over again in a heartbeat, especially here in Springville. So we will take this great opportunity to swear Jaron in. I'd like him to come forward. Stand right here. Face the audience. Raise your right arm and swear. I solemnly swear. I solemnly swear. I will support. Obey and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. Constitution of the State of Utah. The Constitution of the State of Utah. And the laws and ordinances. And the laws and ordinances of the City of Springville. I swear I will. Faithfully and impartially. Enforce the laws. Jaron's up with Tyler Duncan, worked for the Springville Police Department for how many years? Just over 20. And then he retired from here, now he's working for UCA. So he helped us recruit Jaron, and we're happy to have him.
There we go.
So I must be in a preachy mood, but we absolutely love our police. And I hope that they always feel our support for them in the work that they do. It's not easy to be a police officer, and we sustain them. And you don't see that in other parts of the country, but we sustain them, and we support them, and we recognize the difficulty which they do. And our society is a law-abiding society. And if you lose the law of the rule of law in your society, you have nothing. You just have anarchy. So we appreciate these fine men and women who uphold the law, and we do sustain them as a city council. And we want them to always know that. So thank you. Okay. So Trinka, come on up. And she has a comment she'd like to say. You're welcome to stay for the whole meeting. Those of you that would like to be excused, you're welcome to do that. We're not offended. But go right ahead.
Okay, I have heard that, say, what I would love to do with the old Grant School playground, I've heard that the Recreation Department wants to make a pickleball court, but can I propose something different? What I would love to see is a garden spot. My husband and I participate in Community Action in Provo's gardening program, and you pay $20 for a garden spot, and they provided the water and the soil and everything like that. And I think it would be so neat if we can, well, when they get rid of all the apparatus and stuff like that, and turn that into a garden spot, and because that would be such a help to those who don't have a garden spot, or it would be such a wonderful wonderful means of education for children, learning how to grow things. And I petition your blessings in this regard.
That'll be good.
Okay.
I know this young lady. She and I went to school together, and so did Mike. So, but Stacy, I thought was here. Maybe she's not here. Is she outside? Let her get with you and to kind of talk through this. I think that's probably going to be the best thing to do. And then, in fact, here she comes. She may not have heard your comments, but okay. But why don't you just slip out with Stacy and have that conversation with him? We've heard you publicly and on record, so this will give you a chance to kind of talk with the person that's in charge. So, what's that?
Oh, he's still in here.
Oh. Yeah, great. Okay, I need a motion for the consent agenda to be approved.
A motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second. Oh, sorry.
And there's not a roll call vote, is it? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, Chief Haight, he's slipped out. Yep, he's, it's okay. We'll move on to number 5. So Carla, if you want to come up and address a change in the code and the setbacks.
I don't have a full presentation. I'm just going to have to look at your staff report.
Okay.
So this issue, excuse me, this issue has come before the city before, according to John, and they've kind of dealt with it on a case-by-case basis. But it is becoming something that we felt we needed to address it in our ordinance rather than dealing with it on a case-by-case basis for consistency. There are a few homes on corner lots around the city where their property line sets back further because of the city's right-of-way on the road. And when we determine, according to our residential our residential development code in Title 11, for side yard setbacks, we indicate that it should be from the property line. So what happens with these properties, as you'll see, there's an aerial image of the home that is the most recent to deal with this. They take care of the area and the yard in the right of way, and are responsible for maintaining that. But their property line actually starts farther back. So when they do a setback, we are measuring from that property line, and therefore it limits them a great deal on where they can place a accessory structure or add on to their home. And so rather than just vacating that right of way, which discussions with Public Works and Administration felt that maybe in some areas that may work. As a general policy, we would want to avoid that in case, as part of our master transportation plan, we ever need that right of way. We don't want to just vacate it and give it to the property owner. But we did feel that if we can allow them to measure their setback from that point rather than their property line, still allows us to keep the right of way, allows us to have what we need to do for that master transportation plan. There are some limitations specifically so that it's not everywhere, that it only applies in these areas where property owners are restricted by that right of way and property line differential. And so, and like I said, it maintains that so that if the city needs it in the future, they're still able to use it, but it allows the property owner to get the full use of their property as well. So that's what's before you today, we did it as a footnote to the property, to this setback property line section of the code, and just added that with the conditions, and that was all drafted by our city attorney in response to these issues.
Does this only affect corner lots?
Yes, it only affects corner lots.
And how much space is there in that right-of-way compared to where the property line is? I mean, how much space is the property owner gaining?
Well, for instance, the one that came to us most recently, his boundary line's about 12 feet off of the back of sidewalk. And the right-of-way's already in from back of sidewalk to what we need or what is planned for the next 20-plus years. And so if you were to take a 15-foot setback, instead of being 15 feet off the back of sidewalk, you're really looking about 27 to 30 feet. And so what this says is they have to be at least 5 feet off their boundary line, but they can measure that from the back of sidewalk, so they can go 15 feet off of that, but make sure they're still 5 feet off their boundary line, so it reduces it. So if we ever use it again, they're at least 5 feet off of where we'd be using it.
But is that the same for every property that this would apply to?
Could it be like 20 feet off?
In terms of the distance, though?
No, well, yes, 15 feet. It might be good if we just...
Do you want to pull up the map?
Yeah, just to show. So
You have my same question. Can it be 5 feet? Can it be 30 feet?
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on
back
how
of
much is in that
sidewalk.
right of way.
The
Are we talking
city
about
can own
back of sidewalk to property line? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so let's just pull this up. It's a lot easier, I think, to explain with a picture.
I'll let you drive.
That's all right.
It's funny we'd be talking.
So right here is the property that most recently brought this up. So you can see it's a corner lot. You can see where the back of sidewalk is. So currently we have back of sidewalk to back of sidewalk. That's the full width of the right-of-way that's needed in that area for the next 20-plus years. And so if he were to, for instance, we can even draw a line on this. If he were to, or she, the family, were to draw, the regular 15 feet back. So right there's 20 feet. So, the 15 feet's about right here. And I believe this is the line that is his. And so he'd have to start about right here doing his 15 feet. And so what the ordinance allows them to do is to say, hey, go to your property line, or actually go to the sidewalk, measure 15 feet back, but it has to be at least 5 feet into your property in case the city ever comes back and says, hey, we want to use this portion of the property. There'll at least be 5 feet off so that there will be a width between where the right-of-way ends and where their building is. So, and then the kind of the reason why this seems to be to a lot of us on the staff there is under state law, they have to take care of this property anyway. And so they're taking care of city property, but then when they go to build, they have to build back an extra 15 feet from where it is. And it's not just this property, I started looking to see, like, just to see how many different places it would affect. Here's one right here. Oh, I got this up, I apologize. Close that down. But here you got the same thing. So you got boundary line, and you can see how far this is off of sidewalk as well. I believe this is about 8 to 10 feet off of sidewalk, so then if they were to do a side yard setback, now their side yard setback becomes 25 feet instead of just 15 feet. But if the ordinance changes, then they can be 15 feet off of sidewalk. And if you just go to different older areas in town, now some it could be that that it could just be that the survey's off, but you start looking and you can find different areas all over town where, I just picked a bad example, didn't I? But here you can see corner lots, where does it start, where does it end type stuff. And so it could just be the survey, it could be a lot of things. But what this allows us to do is to allow property owners where they're already taking care of the property to measure from back of sidewalk, but still protects the city in the future because they're at least 5 yards into their property if we ever want to use the right-of-way.
You said 5 yards? Or
5
is it
feet.
5 feet?
5 feet. 5 yards from the back of sidewalk, yes. So, okay, thanks. Anything?
There are some spots that don't have sidewalk yet. Would it be from back of hypothetical sidewalk, or?
That's a good question. I mean, I just saw one on here as we were going through it, but
Your length, they wouldn't qualify because the street's not completely constructed to the designated standard.
yeah, so it wouldn't qualify. So you can see
Okay.
like this right here, but the sidewalk is, I don't know, this is a weird house. It's hard to find a good example just up here.
But the code requires that the road be complete.
Yeah.
I mean, there's several conditions, right? Complete to the designated street standard, and that there's no plan change in the next 20 years.
But here you can kind of see, here's some more examples where it doesn't match up with back of sidewalk for one reason or another. So it is. So anyway, so any more questions on this? Did I confuse everyone enough?
Nope.
Okay.
No, you clarified, thanks.
All right, thank you, council, mayor.
Other questions for Carla or John? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 05-2025, amending section 11-4-404 of the Springville City Code regarding residential setbacks and locations where the city owns property between the owner's side yard and the back of the sidewalk.
I will second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, so roll call vote. Mike?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Chief Haight? Thanks, Carla.
Mayor and Council, I came to you in January of this year with a presentation for a service level increase. We currently have a narcotics detection canine program in the police department, but we wanted to expand that, increase our service level by training a specialty dog to work in the high school to focus on detecting vapes. Vaping among youth across the country is an issue, and it's also an issue here in Utah. Their kids have more access to vapes, either a THC, which is marijuana vapes, or nicotine vapes, and they're both detrimental to their health, particularly at that young age. And so if we can get a detection dog in the high school, then that will help us identify kids who need help in overcoming their substance abuse and addiction. So you gave indication that you were supportive of that program. The reason I'm coming to you tonight is that timing is everything. So we've decided on a vendor to purchase our dog through. It's an organization that trains dogs in the prison, and they're trained in the prison for over a year, and then they're homed with a family for a period of time, and then they're ready to be used as any number of service animals, but also detection dogs. So there's a graduating class of canines that are available in the very near future, and then the next Utah post. So every police dog used in Utah has to go through post training, which is a 10-week training course, and they only offer it once or twice a year. The next post course is in April. So both of these dates are prior to the beginning of next fiscal year. So the intention for the service level increase request was for next fiscal year, and as mentioned in the presentation, the program will be funded from existing donations. That we have enough donations already to fund the program, but because we would be spending the dollars in this fiscal year, I needed to come to you and ask permission to move forward with the service level increase that was intended for next fiscal year, but use money in this fiscal year to pay for it. What that will allow us to do is to start the dog in the schools in the fall, which would be ideal. The school's excited about it, counting on it, and hopeful that we can get things going sooner than later. So that's why I'm here tonight, is to make that presentation, answer any questions you have, and then go from there.
Questions for Chief Haight? Kate, you understand why you're here with this?
What kind of dog is it? Obviously, it's a vape detecting dog.
This breeder breeds labs.
It's a lab.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Black.
Black or yellow.
Ooh, yellow.
Remind me, would the canine be only for the high school? Could it also be at the junior high and middle school? Because I know kids are starting younger and younger on some of these now.
So the SRO at the high school will be the handler, but we can certainly, with NEVO's permission or encouragement, we can use it in any of the schools, and I'd like to see the possibility of using it in other schools outside of Springville too. So we'll see how. This is definitely a trial program. We're going to see how it goes, and hopefully it'll be of such value that it can grow.
So are there other departments around us that have this, or is that what you're saying? You want to see how that
We'll
goes
be
and
the
expand
first.
it to other cities?
So there are narcotic detection dogs throughout the state, but we'll be the first vape detection dog in the high school.
Oh,
And,
I
and
like
part of the
that.
program is that when you detect a vape, you don't like
Tennessee was the closest one. So
you connect kids with kind of addiction recovery rather than
So Springville
cracking
High,
down criminally on them or anything like that.
Springville High School wrote a grant, and they have a student substance abuse advocate full time, and he's there to help the kids with their substance abuse. Yeah.
Cool.
And this was, I think, not only your idea, but also our concern with what statistics we saw, 3 or 4 or 5 months ago in relationship to this vaping and that's going on. Is that correct?
Yep. And the vapes definitely are a gateway to other addictions and other drugs. So if we can prevent the students from bringing the vapes to school, then that will help curtail the spread of more people, more kids trying it. So I think that'll be a victory too.
Okay, other questions for the chief? Okay, I'll entertain a motion then.
I'll motion to approve resolution number 2025-08, authorizing the use of existing canine donations to fund startup costs for the vape detection canine program in advance of adopting the FY 2026 budget officially authorizing the program.
Okay, have a motion, second.
I will second that.
Okay, a roll call vote. Craig?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Okay, thanks, chief.
Thank you.
You got her. Let us know how it goes. We'd love to have an update on it, so, yeah. Okay, other items that we need to bring up for the city? Anything? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment then.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Second.
second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Got it.
Thank you, young man. Thank you. Was it worth it?